What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn reacts to Tyson Fury's laughing video that he bottled it. Anthony Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn, reacted in confusion and surprise at Tyson Fury's laughing video post on Friday night. Hearn says that Fury bottled it by saying he didn't want to fight Alexander Usyk next. Okay. According to Hearn, Fury insisted on an interim fight before fighting Usyk for his titles, and they couldn't allow that. With Fury having fought only 3 months ago on October 9th against Deontay Wilder, Hearn didn't understand his need for an interim fight before facing Usyk. It would be one thing if Fury were coming off a long layoff and needed a tune-up to get ready to challenge the unbeaten Usyk. Still, for Fury to be asking for a warm-up just 3 months after his last fight against Deontay Wilder, that looks like he didn't have the self-confidence required for him to make the unification match against Alexander Usyk. Granted, Fury packed on a lot of fat after his win over Wilder last October, but he should be able to take that weight off before fighting in late March. In a recent video workout of Fury, he appeared to be about 30 pounds overweight, which should be a snack for him to take off to get back to the 270s for his last 2 fights against Deontay Wilder. Let me counterpunch. I see what Eddie Hearn's saying, because there was a time when they were threatening to go and fight for a set, without the WBC belt or whatnot, but without losing the WBC belt. But then there were rumors that he would be stripped, but then there was no evidence that he would actually be stripped from the WBC belt. But he did want to defend his interim championship, if you guys can remember, and Ring Magazine. So they were going to use that to market Tyson Fury if the arbitration didn't go their way. Okay, so this was pre-arbitration instead of fighting Alexander Usyk. Okay, so he wanted to fight an easy pick'ems fight first, then fight whoever. Okay, as far as Alexander Usyk goes, he only had to fight. It was only 2 ways to go. Either fight Anthony Joshua, right, which entitled him to withhold the rematch agreement, right, like they said they were going to do, or the Middle Easterners or whatnot was going to pay Anthony Joshua and Dillian White to step aside. But it was mostly Anthony Joshua with his rematch clause. That's something they had to get around, okay? But remember, Tyson Fury wanted a fight before then, okay? And the same things keep happening. I tell you, history repeats itself, because Tyson Fury, if you look back at 2018, okay, when Tyson Fury made a comeback, he went to Eddie Hearn, and Eddie Hearn had an opportunity to sign him. But what happened? He asked for 4 tune-up fights before fighting anybody, or before fighting Anthony Joshua, and Eddie Hearn wouldn't give it to him because he wasn't going to pay him 4 separate times for 4 different fights so he could get ready. So he went the other route with Frank Warren. He ended up getting 2 tune-up fights and then taking on Deontay Wilder in late 18. After fighting him to a draw, he took 2 more tune-up fights. So that labeled 4. So he got what he wanted. It was just took him 2 years to do it. But, it was, of course, obviously it would have took about 2 years to do 4 fights, right? Depending on what his work rate was. But if he's like any other elite fighter, they're only really fighting twice a year. Canelo, Pacquiao, Floyd, all of them do the same thing. So Tyson Fury was looking for another opportunity. And of course, he fought Deontay Wilder, then Deontay Wilder. Okay, so 2020 and 2021. So he was looking for that type of fight, but that's how Tyson is. Tyson, in his mind, hey, I just came off of one of the biggest fights that I've probably ever had, one of the best fights that probably people have ever seen. And I think he felt, hey, I need to do what I always do. I need a pickup fight. I need a easy pickups fight. I need one of those coasters just to stay fresh. So whenever a fight comes available, then I'll fight it. But then sometimes in boxing, okay, those type of things don't happen. Okay, so what happens at the end of the day? You have to fight the elite fight, then another elite fight, then another elite fight. So to just want a tune-up fight just because you didn't get it last year, which he should have got. He should have received a fight last year, but he didn't get it. Okay, and actually that wasn't even, was that last year? No, that was supposed to be late 2020. Okay, remember he's supposed to fought I get Caballo. Remember him? So, but that fight never materialized for whatever reason, and a lot of people thought it was the arbitration, and we're really set to believe it was the arbitration because that fight was going to happen, and all of a sudden it didn't. So, with Eddie Hearn, saying that, hey, well, you wanted to fight an easy fight instead of Usyk, we wasn't going to allow you to do that. So things took its course. And one thing, again, history repeats itself with Tyson Fury was Tyson Fury packed on some pounds. Now, did he get Orca spiral out of control type of weight gain? No, he didn't. But he gained 50 pounds, and that's not peanuts. Because it's like, if you're looking at a guy that's fighting on the elite level, I don't think mentally he was prepared to go in there to fight somebody like Usyk. Okay, because he had to be in shape to fight Usyk because Usyk would have danced all around him. Okay, and that's another thing. The same thing of his former friend Dillian Whyte. Those guys will get in a situation where they win a fight, they'll have a victory, and then they'll start putting on pounds. Dillian Whyte did the same shit when he knocked out Derek Chisora. If you can remember back in 2018 going into 19, he came over here to the States, and he gained a lot of weight. Okay, so those type of things happen, but they happen to people that don't expect to fight challenging fight after challenging fight after challenging fight. So you guys tell me what you think of Eddie Hearn stating that, I didn't know why he did that, of his response. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunched. Peace.